Welcome back, everybody. Today, I want to make this quick and short video to kind of show you guys exactly how to go ahead and assess the leads that we have here inside of AI Deal Finder. Because I've been getting a lot of good feedback from a lot of people who have been using this, and I want to make sure that you guys understand exactly what you're looking at here and how to use it appropriately and how to reach out appropriately in order to make sure you have the best chance of success. So here inside of AI Deal Finder, I've gone ahead and just selected Florida because that's where we're located here in Miami. And I want to go ahead and start to look at some of these leads here. And if you notice, of course, we have our name, we have our estimated monthly value, what exactly this lead may be looking for in terms of help for their business, the size of the actual business in terms of employees, where they're located state-wise, and then we have our analysis tool and lead score. And our lead score is super duper important because that gives us an idea based on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely this lead is to convert and actually be willing and able to work with a independent individual who's doing marketing, a freelancer, or an outside agency. Because of course, let me be abundantly clear, there will be people who are just going to die on the hill of like, I want an in-house employee. I want somebody who's going to work for me and only me, and I want to be able to control their day and how everything works. Those do exist, and you will run into them. But that being said, there will also be plenty, and I do mean plenty because I've seen it happen with the leads coming from these lists of companies that will go ahead and hire outside help. Because let's think about this from a logical perspective, right? If any of you here have ever owned a business, you know there are a lot of expenses that come with having employees. And by expenses, I don't just mean, hey, you got to pay them. I mean, all the added things like payroll taxes and payroll companies, having to pay to have them trained, having to manage them. Having employees is an expensive thing. So outsourcing this type of work, marketing work, to an outside company actually benefits these businesses a lot more than you think. Aside from just going ahead and actually, maybe being able to be competitive with the actual price that you're going to be charging them, you're actually saving these businesses a lot of money in terms of other expenses related to paying employees. But on top of that, even more so, it's a tax write-off, ladies and gentlemen, because you are now an expense, a business expense for that business and not just a actual employee. So I hope that cleared that up. But that being said, the next step I want to go here is I want to dig into one of these leads. So let's go ahead and take a peek. So let's just start off right here at the top. We have Vive Health. This is going to be a larger company. As you see, it's got about 50 employees, and that's going to affect its lead score. I see over here on the right-hand side, that's a 4.47. But if we take a deep dive into what they're looking at here, we'll see an assessment as to why they are that 4.47, right? So we have that they're looking for content creation, which is a very straightforward service to go ahead and provide. They want social media campaign execution, which again, that could be running ads. You may need a little bit more clarification from the lead when you speak to them in terms of what that's going to involve. But they want somebody who's really going to also make sure they go ahead and keep up with industry trends and show them the analytics to show them how everything is working, which is, again, a pretty straightforward job inside of social media marketing. And if you want to do a deeper dive and learn a little bit more about this business, all you have to do is click the contact button. And from there, you're going to get a list of all the direct links to this business and what else they have going on. So here we have their website, we have their Facebook, we have some other locations where they're going to be listed like LinkedIn, etc. So a lot of cool tools here. Now, again, I want to do this a few times here just so you guys can kind of get the grip of it. Let's take a look at project growth. This is another really, really good one. They're listed at an 8.04. Let's take a peek as to why. So they're looking for somebody, obviously, who's completely dedicated to email marketing. They want them to be specializing in Klaviyo. So that must be the CRM that they do have in-house. And this is a higher likelihood of success company because they are looking for somebody who can work remotely. So bing, 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 bing. Every big red alert sign should go off here as to why that's a good lead because of the fact that they're not looking to necessarily have you in-house, okay? They're open to somebody being outside of the office working on this. And at the price of $2,000 a month, that's a pretty fair deal, especially if it's one of your first ones for getting started. So I would definitely look at this one as a reason or as a type of lead to go ahead and reach out to first, especially if you have that experience inside of email marketing. And again, just like with the last lead, all we'd have to do is click this contact button and we'll be able to reach out to them. Now, a common question that I do get asked by a lot of the students that I work with is like, well, TJ, at the end of the day, many of these businesses may be looking for somebody with experience. So how do I get around that if I'm brand new, just getting started day one, never done any of this before, but I feel super confident in my abilities because I've had training or I've gone through programs and I know how to do this stuff. I've just never been able to prove it to anybody yet. And ladies and gentlemen, let me be abundantly clear. Everybody has had their first client. Okay, which means everybody has gone through exactly the question and the situation that you're dealing with. Nobody just wakes up one day and poof, they had 10 clients, right? So let's say you're getting into a conversation with one of these businesses and you're kind of approached the point where they're going to ask you a little bit more about you, right? How long have you been doing this for? Is there a reason why I should trust that you're going to be able to get me these results, etc.? Whenever you get this question, I feel it is always best to respond with the following. And for the example, again, I used to own a gym, so I always use gym in my examples. So let's go ahead and use the fact that maybe they own a gym, right? I'm not going to just wave the white flag and say, "Oh, you're my first client. I've never done this before. I'm completely, lost, and I'm never going to be able to figure this out." That would be silly. But what I am going to do is make it known to them that I have not necessarily worked with specifically their type, and I'll show you how to frame this. So if they ask me, "Hey, how do I know this will work, TJ? How do I know that you're going to be able to give me the results?" Right? I'm going to say, "Hey, Joe, you know what? That's a great question. While I've never worked with a gym like yours before, because of my training and the things that I've done in the past, I feel super confident in my ability to go ahead and get you and your business results. So what I'm willing to do is make this a super low risk, almost risk-free situation for you. We can go ahead and do a very short trial period just so I can get in the door and show you what I can do for a super duper affordable rate. That way you can see the results. You can put hands on it and you can see that I can actually help you out the way that I'm talking about. And then after that, if you like what you see, we can discuss working together on a longer term basis. Does that sound fair?" And when you put it that way, ladies and gentlemen, business owners are going to respond positively. Now, is every single time you use this going to be a yes? No, of course. There's going to be somebody who goes, you know what? I want somebody who's got 10 years of experience and got all these different accolades. That's going to exist, ladies and gentlemen. But to think that that's going to be the only case would be silly because everybody gets their start somewhere. Everybody has their first client. And as long as you are straightforward and upfront with them, like, "Hey, look, because of my training, because of what I know I can do, I feel super confident in getting you these results." You're going to have business owners that are going to say, "Hey, you know what? It's worth that trial period. It's worth working with somebody at maybe a little bit cheaper rate than I'd have to pay in full for somebody who's super duper experienced to go ahead and get these results right up front and have the best chance of success." Because, ladies and gentlemen, unless you get in there and get that practice, it's going to be very hard for you to get the ball rolling, right? So I hope that kind of breaks everything down for you in a much more simple manner, shows you a little bit more about our leads and how to assess them. We can do a few more too here as to, like, again, show you a little bit more about this lead score. Like, for example, ladies and gentlemen, obviously our AI is a powerful tool and I want to make sure you know how to use it properly. It's going to pull up leads from all over the place. Anybody who's looking for help, anybody who's looking to get more social media marketing services provided for them. So, like, for example, here we have Orlando City Soccer Club. That's a sports team. That's a gigantic company, 200 plus people just in that, individual location that's listed here. Okay. The chances of you getting that job, especially remotely, and given the logistics of actually applying the service that they want, right? It's going to be very, very difficult. And if you notice, our lead score reflects that. It's way different than the one that we just looked up here with like Project Growth or even with Vibe Health, right? So understanding your lead score and understanding the different metrics that calculate it are super important to being able to use this properly. And of course, if you have any questions on this, we do have a program that actually walks you guys through step by step how to get started in social media marketing, how to actually land your first client, what to say, how to say, especially when it comes to not only the outreach, but also the sales process as well. There will be a link around this video you can go ahead and click on to go ahead and schedule a call with our team, and we'll be able to walk you through the process and get you guys all rocking and rolling. But again, hope you had a great time in this video. If you have any other questions, always feel free to reach out, and I'll see you in the next one.